first record that we ever did on what's called Pro Tools. So we were working with computers.
And Howard didn't even know how to use it really yet, too.
Yeah,
he was learning, which was great.
That's why our vocals and horns sound really processed and weird on that record.
Thanks.
On a Tuesday in the rain, I never thought there'd come a day. Never thought there'd come a day, yeah. If I put myself to the test, would I ever raise a fist? Would I just shut my mouth? Would I block it out? I sworn a million times never to be living again with that feeling. Hopelessness, I'm standing just nervous in the alley. I sworn a million times never to be living again with that feeling. Hopelessness, I'm standing just nervous in the alley. Just nervous in the alley. And when all is said and through, would I know just what to tell? Would I know just what to do? Yeah. If I put myself to the test, would I ever raise a fist? Would I just shut my mouth? Would I block it out? I sworn a million times never to be living again with that feeling. Hopelessness, I'm standing just nervous in the alley. I sworn a million times never to be living again with that feeling. Hopelessness, I'm standing just nervous in the alley. Whoa, 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 whoa, whoa. Change of heart that keeps us bound.
No, it's true. Nothing left except for me and you.
It's not that strange when all I have to say, I wonder what I'm fighting for. I sworn a million times never to be living again with that feeling. Hopelessness, I'm standing just nervous in the alley. I sworn a million times never to be living again with that feeling. Hopelessness, I'm standing just nervous in the alley. Whoa, 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 just nervous in the alley. Not too shabby. You all right?
You guys all right?
It's like these guys are much better when they're plugged in.
Yeah. It's hard to play for you. You're a tough audience, man. You all right?
They didn't get enough sleep. They're just tired.
Tired too.
Time to go to sleep. 2?
Yeah.
Time to get up.
3:30.
That's pretty. That's decent. That's more sleep
You
than
guys
I
are
got.
young. You can sleep all day. It's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Hello Rockview. Gosh, that we did tons of touring on that record. It took us to Japan for the first time. Went to Australia for the first time. New Zealand. And that was cool. Actually, at the end of that tour, we also went to England for the first time, which...
A lot of passport stamps.
Yeah, it was a really crazy time for the band because we were busy at home, but we were starting to be able to play in other countries, and you know, this is still kind of pre-internet, but we were getting a lot of fan mail from Europe and England, and it was really a really exciting time. It was really cool, and
Yeah, we were running a mail fraud business at that point. I don't know if I should say that over the internet, but
well, we would go on tour, and we were running the mail out of our apartment. I lived with Vinny and Roger in an apartment, and we would be gone for 3 or 4 months at a time. We'd come home, and there'd just be sacks full of mail, and people were sending cash through the mail. You want this album? Like, we didn't have it in stock, so yeah, it's a wonder we didn't.
yeah, we would send out catalogs in like whatever they bought previously when we sent them back the stuff. So then they'd order what was on the catalog, but then we wouldn't have it anymore. So we'd either, if there was a number, we'd call them and be like, "Do you guys want something different?" And we get like the mom every once in a while or something. But yeah.
So we ended up going out to Hollywood to do a record in early 2000, April of 2000, and we were still with Capitol Records. We made the record for Capitol, and then during the middle of it, we were let go. We had the opportunity to leave, and the label let us go, and we took the record to Fat Records, and they put out Borders and Boundaries. And I remember, when it came out, people, it was mostly positive. I think because we were on Fat, but if we were still with Capitol, they probably would have been, because there was some different songwriting on this record.
Well, we tried to kind of bring in a couple of different shades. There's kind of some mellower songs, and we recorded it where the Foo Fighters had recorded Color and Shape in that studio, and we were just out living there for that whole time, and it was like a different experience. And there were definitely some different kind of songs in there, a little bit different, lighter stuff.
Yeah, and we wrote a bunch, and we actually we did demos at Rogers Studio for this record as well.
That's true.
The guy that recorded it was Steve Kravac, who was actually the guy that engineered Hella Rock You with Howard Benson. So we just got rid of the big guy and just kept the engineer.
Oh yeah. And then Darren, our old Barry player, Darren, he halfway through the recording, he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to be in the band anymore." And we were like,
The way he did it is story-worthy, though.
Is it? Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the studio, and our manager says, "Hey guys, I need everybody's sizes. I need your pants. I need your shirt." We're like, "For what?" She's like, "For the photo shoot coming up." I'm like, "All right." So she says, "Chris, what do you wear?" I'm like, "Oh, large,
Extra
36
large.
pants."
Hey, it was the 90s. It was the 90s. You had all big stuff.
Yeah, I was a little pudgy back then. But
Back
so
Yeah, and then it was like,
I'm gonna turn around. But
"Hey,
no,
Darren,
don't worry.
what size are you, Darren?
Yeah.
What size are your shirt?"
What size is your shirt? And he goes, and he was really quirky. He says, "I'm not gonna be needing those." I'm like, "Shut up, dude. What size are you?" He's like, "After this recording, I'm leaving the band." We're like, "What?" Like that matter of factly.
Which is also how he told jokes, so it was hard to tell.
3 weeks after we got done recording, 3 weeks after recording the record, we had a month-long tour with our friends in Snuff playing in England. And we're like, "Dude, you're not getting out of the tour. You're going. You're going on the tour and you can quit." So we made him drive the whole tour in this van.
It's the first time we were in England and we were driving ourselves around. He was driving the van.
So we hazed him pretty good. So, anyways, this is one of those. This is one of those weirder. I say weirder. This couldn't have fit on Hello Rock You Were Losing Streak. We were starting to branch out. This wasn't a ska song, and this song has a lot of deep meaning. It was dedicated to a friend of ours who had passed away from a drug overdose, and he was a great friend of the band. This one's called "Is This Thing On?" When all the things that you've been thinking has you so unglued and so unglued, your head is spinning. Yeah, we've all seen different sides. No one hears even though you talked all night. And I know what you feel like. You're on your own. Can't make it through this world all alone. Is this thing on it all? You're on your own. Can't make it through this world all alone. Is this thing on it all? When all your friends don't have the answers, and you're so convinced that inch by inch they turn to strangers. Yeah, we've all seen different sides. No one hears even though you talked all night. And I know what you feel like. You're on your own. Can't make it through this world all alone. Is this thing on it all? You're on your own. Can't make it through this world all alone. Is this thing on it all? You're on your own. Can't make it through this world all alone. Is this thing on it? This thing on it all? And can we really measure if we think we're any better than the skyline that goes on and on, forever on and on? You're on your own, can't make it through this world all alone. Is this thing on it all? You're on your own, can't make it through this world all alone. Is this thing on it all? You're on your own, can't make it through this world all alone. Is this thing on it? You race against time, I know what that feels like, but you're on your own now.
Is this thing on
It's been
it all?
countless times that you talked all night, but you're on your own now.
Is this thing on it all?
You're on your own, can't make it through this world all alone. Is this thing on it? This thing on it all? You're on your own, can't make it through this world all alone. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks.
They even got the Depeche Mode harmony right. That was great.
And I think it's because of that song. That's why we got the Bon Jovi tour after
Yes.
Borders and Boundaries. It's because of that.
In
Darren missed that tour, and JR got that to be his first tour.
Well,
right after that, but
that's not true.
You
The
did
first
the- well, the
tour
first tour was
was
the
like
longest
9
tour
and
we
a half
ever-
weeks
yeah.
long. It's like, hey, come on, join the band.
yeah, JR's
sucker.
inauguration.
Yeah, it's great.
JR is still the new guy 18 years later. So I
Thank
had
you.
to say hi to JR.
Thank you.
We went back to
I
a
think
van
that's
and
a
stayed
new
on
guy
people's floors
record.
too.
It's a new guy record.
So the
18
guy
years.
who was booking our shows at the time, he had a conversation with Bon Jovi. They were with the same booking company, and Bon Jovi, they couldn't find an opening act for their tour. They had taken some time off in the 90s. John went to try to be a movie star or whatever, and grunge kind of killed hair metal in the 80s. So they didn't think the tour was going to do that well, and turns out that a little station called VH1 got behind their record, and the thing blew up, and it was just Less Than Jake and Bon Jovi. We went on from 7 to 7:30, and then there was a half-hour break. They played from 8 to 11.
It's amazing.
And they paid us a ridiculous amount of money. They put us in a broom closet every day. They gave us one bottle of wine and a case of water. That was it. And one night we got kicked out of the broom closet because Heather Locklear was Richie Sambora's wife. That was her room that night. So we actually didn't even get a room. And we got treated pretty poorly on that tour, but we wouldn't have changed it for the world. It was great.
It was cool. It was like kind of getting a new thing of touring with bigger bands and like these like bigger shows and like there's that big arena world.
We get
It was
out there,
crazy.
everybody would be seated like there'd be guys reading with their tie kind of half down reading the paper.
Yeah.
We did have some fans that paid the exorbitant amount of money to come see us. I remember one time it was way up in the nosebleeds. There was someone with a light bright that just said LTJ on it. I was like, yes.
The absolute best was Chris was still dressing up in costumes back then. I don't know if you guys remember that. And the last show that we played was in Montreal, maybe. And he was wearing a half shirt, and he had spandex on that he had cut the ass cheeks out of. And so I was walking behind him, because that's what I do, and watching not so much the crew's reaction of the face as Chris is passing members of the Bon Jovi crew, and they're all like looking at him like he's crazy, and then they'd all turn their head and see the ass cheeks cut out, and it's priceless.
Yeah. Thank God there wasn't cell phone cameras around back then.
Yeah.
So
The other
did
interesting
well.
thing about that tour too, it was since they had such big production, it would be a Bon Jovi show, and then they'd have a day off to get all the stuff ready for the next show, and we booked a tour in between. So we'd do the weird Bon Jovi show with like steak, like filet mignon catering and all that kind of stuff, playing for half an hour to people that were, like you said, on their phones. Like, oh yeah, if you're in the parking lot, it's fine. You got plenty of time. This first band's on. They're terrible. You can hear them. They're like in the front row. I'm like, thanks. But then we'd go to then we'd go to the next night, go to our own show and play somewhere else to like 1,000 of our screaming fans. So it was pretty awesome.
So one other quick little thing about it was I lost my train of thought. Okay, so we were on the Bon Jovi thing, and we ended up getting off that. Did we go in the studio after that, or did we already record Borders? Or
Borders was done.
Yeah, Borders was done.
Okay,
Or it come
okay.
down.
So we're getting ready. We're getting ready for Anthem. Okay. So Anthem. What are we gonna talk
Yeah,
about that?
I mean,
That's where we got the labels back. Anthem.
we did. And
Yeah.
we,
And that's where we learned how we had learned our lesson on Losing Streak, where we're like, don't take any money. This time we're like, take all the money.
Yeah. And Run.
And we did. We started the record in New Orleans. We did the bass and drums down there, and
We
while
did the record with Rob Cavallo, who is he did like a couple of Green Day records you've heard of, I'm sure. And
yeah,
Goo
he
Goo
did
Dolls.
Dookie. He did a bunch. He did American
His
Idiot.
dad did Purple Rain,
Yeah, it's kind of a thing.
so he's kind of a big deal.
So he wanted to spend money, basically, and we were like, okay.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
his suggestion to go to New Orleans because he said they have good food.
And as Roger mentioned, someone mentioned earlier, Craig Aronson from Capitol. He was now with Warner Brothers. He signed the band.
Again.
And and we went to New Orleans to do the record, and we did bass and drums there. And while we were there, we had a voodoo priestess come and bless the recording, which is pretty cool.
We ate at an Emerald restaurant.
And a what?
Emerald.
Yeah, Emerald.
Oh,
Lagasse
bam!
restaurant, yeah.
And then
We took all the money I said.
Then we ended up going out to Malibu and finishing the record where Incubus did this record called Morning View. So it was Morning View Studios. It was a 15,000 square foot mansion next to Cher's house. And
Roger and I drove all the gear from New Orleans to Malibu, and when we got to the house, Incubus was doing an acoustic set for K-Rock radio there, and we come in the box truck, like up the, there's all these radio people, and we're just like, what the hell is going on?
And what was great, this was our second go around, and we weren't young bucks at this point. We kind of knew, and the writing was on the wall. The labels, people were starting to download music, and it was like we were taking every dollar we could. They gave us a credit card with $300 a day, and we found a way to spend it every day, the $300. And it was gluttonous. It was gluttonous, and it was ridiculous, and it was rock starish, but it was awesome. We ended up spending $600,000 on this record, and
but we actually had 2 records because we came
Yes.
kind of prepared. We wrote over 40 songs. Beast for B-side was kind of like an afterthought, but we all really loved doing that sort of after hours at the studio, and it was just it was cool to just be in that element of like, okay, Rob Cavallo got Green Day's producer. We have a huge studio now, and here we have the songs too. And I think
we wrote like 30 songs for the record.
I think that's some of our best songwriting. Definitely at the time, we were like, wow, we came up with these songs. High five, it felt
That
good.
was the first time we lived in the studio too. Like you hear about bands doing it all the time because we had done Borders and Grandmaster, so we'd go back to our the Oakwood apartments or whatever. But this time we were living in the music. That's why it was so easy to just kind of keep doing it all day and night.
And this is also JR's first record, so
Yeah.
his debut.
That's
and
great.
we're gonna play a song called "The Ghost of Me and You."
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been down, wandering past 2nd Street and looking at the ghosts of you and me, and thinking back on all those memories of how we used to be. Yeah, I'm still here, and I hear those voices over the noises of the breaking glass, and all those plans we had to get us through, they're never coming true. And I hope that you won't forget, 'cause I'm hoping you know that I can clearly see the ghost of you and me. 'Cause I'm just a moved-on memory, and you're still alive, and I'm still getting by on these dead-end streets. The ghost of you and me. Yeah, I'm still talking. Talk of what we'll do to the ghost of me and you. 'Cause I'm still looking back into the past when we were all we had. And I hope you won't forget, yeah. 'Cause I'm hope you know that I can clearly see the ghost of you and me. 'Cause I'm just a moved-on memory, and you're still alive, and I'm still getting by on these dead-end streets. The ghost of you and me. The ghost of you and me. You and me. Hope you won't forget. Hope you know that I'll always regret those things I said. Hope you know that I can clearly see the ghost of you and me. 'Cause I'm just a moved-on memory, and you're still
Oh, stop it.
Anthem School, I was finally allowed to sing lead vocals on Anthem.
I know, right?
Thanks, Chris.
Nice.
We tried to try anything we could.
You know, I read the online comments, and no one's ever said they like my voice better than Roger's. I swear, I've never read it once. It's aggravating. It gets under my skin.
I will post something about it later.
You better.
Yes.
You better.
Yeah.
Hurts, you know?
Hurtful.
If your mom wasn't here, I'd talk some smack about you right now.
Thanks, man.
So,
Roger's vocals
yeah,
are always
you
louder
know,
somehow, too.
As we were saying, we wrote like 30 songs for the Anthem record, and we did a companion record with it. We had this time. We were living in this mansion, so we figured we got all this recording gear. We're living here at the studio. We might as well put it to use. And
So we suckered the engineer into staying on the weekends because Rob would only record Monday through Friday, maybe, because he was also doing a Fleetwood Mac record at the time. So, you know.
Well, he was recording
producers.
in between meals, too. I think we'd order food like 6 times a day, and he would order 2 meals every time. Because
he'd
he was
show
like, you
up
never
for
know
lunch.
if you're going to like it.
it shows you how much money and time. It shows you how much money and time was wasted because Rob showed up. He was supposed to be there at 1 o'clock to start vocals one day, and we also had a personal chef too.
Yeah, that's why they
So we
gave
had
us
tryouts
the food
for it, right?
stipend because the chef was too much money.
Yeah. And Rob finally shows up about 5 or 6 in the afternoon. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I had to go. Stevie Nicks was freaking out. Fleetwood Mac. I'm sorry I couldn't be here. And we're like, all right. So I think we worked for like an hour, and he had to get back to her. So the next day he shows up at the studio, and he says, listen, Stevie feels really, really bad. She's going to send 5 limos out for you guys. You each have your own personal limo. You can go out in Hollywood and do whatever you want. And we were like, we didn't take her up on it, but
Yeah, we should have.
Stevie Nicks was going to send us limousines to go out in Hollywood and party, but we didn't
There was
take
the
her
one
up
day, too, where Rob showed up when he was like, it's too nice out today. Let's just go out in my boat. He shows up, and he's got like one of those cigar power boat things, right? So we're thinking we're going in like a pontoon boat, or I didn't know what we were thinking. And Vinny was like, I'm not setting foot on a boat.
Vinny and I both were like, no thanks.
And Chris is like, wait, what do you mean you're not going? We got to go do this. And he's like, I've seen you on a boat.
And he looks at me because I went out drinking the night before in Malibu. He's like, you can't go on that boat. You're going to get sick. I'm like, I'm not going to get sick.
We went to go see Newfound Glory in Hollywood the night before and definitely had a couple of drinks. And I was very glad that I stayed in my bed and not bouncing across the waves at 100 miles an hour.
That's exactly what happened, too. We were going 100 miles an hour. And I remember Andre, the guy that used to dress up as the clown, he was holding. There was just like a rope in the back of the boat, and he was just holding onto the back of the boat. I watched it. I was in the front. I'm holding on for my dear life, and Andre is bouncing like this high out of the seat. I thought he was going to fly out of the boat.
I was green. We had to pull into the marina, and I'm just laying on a patch of grass, and the whole world's just going like this. And finally, they came back about an hour or two later and picked me up, and we went back to the studio.
Yeah,
but
because Cavallo blew up the engine in his boat trying
Yeah.
to show off.
We had to
For real,
row,
he said
back
it
to
is.
shore.
He said 100 miles an hour. For real, he was probably doing 55 or 60 miles an hour.
Oh,
I don't know
I'm
if you've
sorry,
ever been on
knots.
the-
For you
or
nautical
whatever.
people.
I don't know if you've ever been on the open water, and those speeds, it was ridiculous. And so yeah.
Yeah, but the B-Sides record was cool. It was like after hours. It was definitely like a different vibe. We had complete control over it. We were recording vocals like during full-on parties at this mansion and stuff. And there's on a couple of those tracks you can kind of hear you slurring your words, but you could definitely hear. You can hear
Sleep It
some like
Off.
kind of party noise in the background.
Yeah.
And that was we were literally having a huge party at the house when we recorded a lot of the vocals.
It's at the end of the song, Sleep It Off.
Yeah, you can actually. That's actual party happens.
So yeah, it was a great time, and like we said before, we
Chris was wearing a tuxedo when he did that.
you know we knew that this was it was either like we're gonna go to the next level or whatever that is as a band or this was gonna be it. They probably weren't gonna throw much money, but they gave us one more record after this, which I don't know why, idiots. But anyways, this I love this song. I don't think we ever played this live before, acoustic or as a band. But I suggested we do this one. I don't know. I love this song, and the best voice in the band's going to sing it for you, Mr.
JR?
Roger.
Oh,
JR,
Yes.
buddy.
Yeah, here we go. Ready?
Tonight.
Tonight, I'll be wiping my slate clean. I'll be clearing out those clouded memories. Cause I don't wanna keep living in the past. And I can't stand how I always do that tonight. Cause I'm sick to death with every last regret and what I said. And now all that I really have left is my head, and it's just a mess. Tonight I'll dance on the graves of all my darkest days and erase all the worries of all the times I've wasted. My thoughts may never go away, but I'll learn not to mind them along the way. Yeah. Tonight, cause I'm sick to death with every last regret and what I said. Yeah, now all that I really have left is my head, and it's just a mess tonight. Yeah, I'll be wiping my slate clean. I'll be clearing out those clouded memories, 'cause I don't wanna keep living in the past, and I can't stand how I always do that. Tonight I'll dance on the graves of all my darkest days and erase all the worries of all the times I've wasted. My scars may never go away, but I'll learn not to mind them along the way. Hey, I'll learn not to mind them along the way. Hey, yeah,
Right now.
I'm giving last rites to all my sleepless nights.
Right now.
I'm coming clean and I'm going on with my life.
Right now.
I'm giving last rites to all my sleepless nights.
Right now.
I'm coming clean and I'm going on with my life.
Right now.
I'm giving last rites to all my sleepless nights.
Right now.
Yeah, I'm coming clean and I'm going on with my life.
Right now.
Yeah, I'm coming clean and I'm going on with my life.
Right now.
Yeah, I'm giving last rites to all my sleepless nights.
Good job.
Thank you.
You know all the words.
And I will say, that song, some of the best lyrics that man has ever handed me to
Praise
put
God.
to a song. Thank you.
I wanted to throw you under the bus today, man. Yeah, we got Phil Collins he's a Phil Collins of our band. He's a drummer and a lyricist. So let's give a round for Vinny right now. People are always like, how do you sing someone else's lyrics and make it feel like it's your own? I'm like, oh, I grew up with the guy. If you ever been to Port Charlotte, you would figure out real quick how I could relate. So, but
Well, it's just like you guys find a piece of the lyrics that you relate to. It's like that for us too, and it gets on a weird level where some of the songs, some of the lyrics, get personal to me, And there's been times when I said to Vinny, I was like, man, this is going to be kind of hard for me to sing because I really feel this way sometimes, And you have to kind of put your personal affiliation with the lyrics to the side to just be able to perform the thing, And that's when I know it's a good song, is when I'm actually feeling the words too, Just like you guys are. It's a trip.
yeah, there's times when you be going through something in life, and it's happened to me, and I'll be rehearsing for shows or something, and I'll go back and listen to a recording I haven't listened to in 10 years, and I'll be hearing the lyrics and being like, did he write this about me? And that's why I think.
And I think some of you guys feel that way too, and that's how I relate to you so much.
Yeah, and this is kind of one of those songs. We did the, of course, the B-sides record, and then the B-sides tour was great. We went out with Linkin Park and Snoop Dogg and Korn on a summer tour, and it was insane. It was absolutely insane. And we had this really bad minivan that, most bands go out and promote their A record. We went out and promoted B-sides in Linkin Park. We had a van wrapped with the artwork with that B on the side of it, and it was just...
And we didn't play any songs from the record at all.
No. It's like our label, you wonder why we got, at some point they're like, we can't work with you anymore, He gave you a ton of money to make a record, and you're going to go out and promote a B-sides record. What's wrong with you guys? But
then they did let us make In With the Out Crowd shortly after that, and that was yet another step in our, kind of trying to mix it up and have some different feeling songs, and getting into some of that moodier stuff, and songs that have absolutely no ska at all, or hardly any horns at all. And I'm proud of us that we always kind of tried to push the barriers of we're not just going to make the same sounding record over and over again.
And it wasn't like we were trying to get away from who we were. It was just some of it's boredom, some of it is you want to stretch out as a songwriter. And this record's interesting. We got some flack from some fans, but as the years have went on, it's interesting. The people are telling me now that it's one of their favorite records because a lot of it I think has to do with, again, the lyrics. There's a lot of I had just gone through a divorce, and a couple of the other guys in the band had the same thing happen. And so those were songs that we were writing about and dealing with in our 30s. Some of the earlier material we had was stuff that was based on when we were, kids. And so when this record came out, people weren't 30 that were hearing it, and now they are, and now they're kind of getting it. And this one's called Hopeless Case.
1, 2.
I have this feeling inside that I wouldn't like me if I met me. Seems like a losing fight. If you could see it through my eyes, then you'd believe me. Truth is that I'm overrated. I can't think straight, I'm formulaic. The truth is that it's sad to say, but you can't help me. You don't see me that way, or hear the words that I say. You just tell me my heart's in the right place. And it's the world that's confused, and it's never too late to save a hopeless case. I've always known a ghost like me can disappear in a moment. Well, I'm my own worst casualty. Everything I touch can get broken. Truth is that I'm self-destructive, I'm insecure, I'm out of focus. The truth is that I've had enough, but you can't help me. You don't see me that way, or hear the words that I say. You just tell me my heart's in the right place. And it's the world that's confused, and it's never too late to save a hopeless case. You're giving me perspective. Oh, better than mine. Oh, will I still be defective, and you're wasting your time. Truth is that I'm overrated. I can't think straight, I'm formulaic. The truth is that it's sad to say, but you can't help me. You don't see me that way, or hear the words that I say. You just tell me my heart's in the right place. And it's the world that's confused, and it's never too late to save a hopeless case. And my head is on straight, and it's never too late to save a hopeless case.
Thank you.
I like that one.
That was the last tough record to make, was In With the Out Crowd. I felt like, we really dug in there. And then after that, things started kind of coming a little easier, I think, for us,
Well,
songs came together a little quicker.
We weren't
after
on
that.
a major anymore, and we realized that all of a sudden, wow, we're been a band for 15 years at that point, and we have this career. We have people, luckily for us, that still want to see our band all over the world, and we were still going into moving into different territories. In 2007, we got down to South America for the first time and played all Brazil, Argentina, Peru. So we were still going different places, and we kind of tried to dig in and really look at who Less Than Jake was to us. And we ended up. Why did we go to Chicago? Was it because of Matt or what?
It's Matt Allison.
much.
Yeah, it's Matt Allison.
So yeah, the next record that it ended up being called GNVFLA. We wrote and recorded that record at my house here, and it was the demos, but it was really like exactly how the record ended up being. We just kind of got a producer that had a really good studio and took those raw ideas and just went to Chicago and re-recorded them, basically.
Yes, Matt Allison did a record that we had all listened to, was Smoke or Fire. Right?
Yes,
that was
Smoke or Fire.
And he also did like a bunch of early Alkaline Trio records and stuff like that. So Matt understands punk rock, and it was cool to be in Chicago because Chicago is such an important band our city for our band's history too, you know. So it was neat to live there for like 6 weeks in the middle of the winter, you know.
Yeah, it was.
And I got to live with the horn players in an apartment, and two miles down the road, Vinny was with Roger. I don't know how did that happen.
Well,
Because
it
we
was-
were sane and you guys were crazy.
Yeah, there was 2 different
Sounds about right.
places to live, and so I got to sleep in the basement because I'm from the north and used to the cold, I guess. So
It was cold.
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah, we were there in the middle of the winter in Chicago. Why we decided that time of the year to do a record, but
it was the spring though. It wasn't.
Well,
the,
yeah,
the
well,
there was
spring
a-
is still the winter.
first day of spring. I was doing snow angels in the parking lot
Yeah, it
of
was
the studio.
the
For
first
real.
week in April, and it was like a blizzard came through. Yeah.
But this was our first release. We made our own imprint label called Sleep It Off Records, and yeah.
We kind of took control, of everything. We didn't really want so much outside influence starting at this time, and that was the first record that I was kind of really on top of the production and like eyeballing every note everyone's playing and saying, is that the right note there? And should we change that? And like really digging in again, like it's
Making
always
my
kind of
life
been
hell.
pushing on
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
bumming
Always
me
been
out
pushing the
constantly.
songwriting and just like trying to get every T and every I dotted perfect. And that was the first record that I felt like I got some of me in there on the production as well as the songwriting. And,
It had been building to
fun to
that the
make.
whole time, though, because even like the first thing that we ever did, Roger was always tinkering with like a 4-track or what. Like he definitely did all of our demos on the way up. So we finally got to the point where you got your producer credit.
I did.
We,
I got my
we just
co-production
really
credit.
felt that we didn't need any outside influence or outside. We weren't with a label, and we realized we had been a band for 15 years, and we probably weren't going to get signed to another major label, and we
were breaking free.
We probably weren't going to get on the radio, and these
Unless there's some watching, we'll sign
these
right now.
beautiful faces weren't going to sell bra commercials and stuff. So we just decided to be who we were, and we made a record that reflected that. And this one's from GNVFLA.
Yeah, it was one other thing. We had Scott from Real Big Fish come play some trumpet on
Formerly
some
of Real
songs.
Big Fish.
Formerly, and
Scott Klopfenstein.
yeah, that whole record.
Come on, buddy.
Sorry, Aaron.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but
Aaron.
nothing but good times. I mean, there's if you find me later, I'll tell you some stories that we can't tell on camera from that record session that were just it was crazy. It was a lot of fun. And this song's from GNVFLA. It's called Conviction Notice.
All right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Get yourself ready, hold your hand steady, cause it's shaking from all this waiting. Fingers bent, your fists start to clench as the pen sign you took today for the rent. Doubting sense and not making sense. We can tell them to all go to hell. Give them my conviction notice, na 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 na, na 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 na. Give them my conviction notice, na 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 na, na 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 na. Give them my conviction notice, na 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 na, na 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 na. Give them my conviction notice, na 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 na. Tell them all to go to hell. Get yourself ready, hold your hand steady, cause it's shaking from all this waiting. Fingers bend, your fists start to clench as the pen signed to check today for the rent. Doubting sense and not making sense. We can tell them to all go to hell. Give them my conviction notice. Welcome to a place where rent means debt. Feels like the price on your head. Money can't buy happiness, but it sure can't pay the rent. He always tries to buy a better life. Yeah, I think he may have overspent, mixing pride and dollar signs. It's easier said than done. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Give him my conviction notice. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Give him my conviction notice. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Give him my conviction notice. Na 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 na. Tell them all to go to hell. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Give them my conviction notice. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Give them my conviction notice. Give them my conviction notice. Tell them all to go to hell.
We're getting less applause as this goes on.
Everyone's
songs.
hangover is just kicking in.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming to this weekend. Thanks for being a part of this and being the VIPers and just.
This is our 6th annual Wake and Bake Weekend. I can't believe it's already happening.
And I do want to give a shout out. We all work hard for this weekend, but Vinny's our de facto manager. He has been for years, and he racks himself crazy with stress, and he's a workaholic by nature, but he puts in an incredible amount of work to make sure that this all gets off the ground, as well as Matt Yonker, our sound man, tour manager, and
Babysitter.
and our crew, Brian and Jimmy, and like I said, it's.
Brian and Jimmy, huh?
It's a pretty crazy undertaking, and we love the intimacy. We love to be able to make this special for you guys because it is special for us, and we're not just saying that.
We love yelling at Brian and Jimmy all weekend. Tell them to do more stuff. Good job, guys.
So, and hello everybody out in internet land. We want to say hi to you guys too. Thank you for tuning in and watching. And
You didn't exist when we started, Internet Land.
So then what?
Then what?
VFLA. We did a lot of touring.
Tons of touring. We did. Well, we didn't really play any B-sides records except for the one called B is for B-sides. But we put out a couple EPs that ended up being a full-length record. We're not going to play anything from that, but.
And the TV EP, don't forget that.
What's funny is in that GNV session, Chris and I did that TV EP was inspired from that GNV session because there's an unreleased track. Chris and I went into the live room at Atlas Studio. One take, we did the theme of All in the Family.
If you applaud loud enough, they'll do it right now.
That's actually what
We won't
sparked
do the whole thing.
idea.
We can do a little bit.
I don't know if we can do any of it.
No. We're not gonna do the whole thing. We'll just do a little bit.
Oh, you want to give them a taste?
Because I can't hit the notes anymore.
Yeah, well,
I don't think we can do the whole thing.
We're not my second puberty.
I'm gonna.
Does anybody know the show All in the Family? Remember that show? All the old people raise their hand. Thanks, Glenn.
Yeah, all our Irish and English fans are like, "What are you talking about? I've never seen that." Look it up on YouTube later. But
Well, the TV EP was a lot of fun, and if it wasn't for this, I don't think we would have convinced ourselves to put forth the effort for the TV EP. And I can't believe you're going to play this right now.
we're not gonna do the whole thing. We'll just do a snippet.
All right.
Whole thing, whole thing, whole thing,
This is
whole
embarrassing.
thing.
I don't have to do it.
Which that's a different chant if you're in prison.
All right. You ready?
Man.
What's
What the hell's the matter with you?
family?
I've been in a band with you for 25 years.
right now. Oh my God! We were gonna play the recording, but that was kind of lame. And then I don't know. I can't believe we're doing this, but we're going to. All right, so you have to do it just like the recording.
Are
you ready?
Are you ready?
And I go.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
And you knew who you were then.
Girls were girls and men were men.
Mister,
we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again. It didn't need no welfare state.
Everybody pulled his weight. She old LaSalle and great.
Those were the days.
Man, that's better than all our songs. I can't believe it.
The end.
And I honestly used to be able to hit those notes. I can't hit them anymore. So
The best was Chris missed one word, and at the end of the track, he goes, "Can we punch that?" I'm like, "No."
yeah, I wanted to fix it.
Maybe someday we'll put it out on a flexi disc or something.
We should put that online next week. But
Wow. I was not expecting that.
I don't even know how we could follow that now. We just go home.
Good night.
But yeah, kind of in continuing with
Continuing with what?
Continuing with kind of the theme of GNV, we'd been on our own for a while, and it came time to do the next
Well,
record.
we had done the 2 EPs thinking that in this day and age, we don't need to put out a full record anymore. We're just going to do 5 songs at a time, put it out real quick. And so that's where the 2 EPs came from, and then the TVP too. But then after we had done that a bunch, we were like, we just need to do a record again. And so that's when we sunk our teeth back in and did See the Light. And our warehouse is right around here somewhere in an undisclosed location. But we sat like around a table and it was very organic the way that this record came together. We would sit around working on lyrics with acoustic guitars, or we'd move like right over and like play it, like kind of jam it out or whatever. And it was
like the EPs,
it was a very
we were
organic
kinda,
process.
we were like, okay, so we're gonna have nobody. It's just gonna be us, And the EPs were kind of like going through the motions and cutting our teeth on some songwriting. And I love a lot of those songs as individual songs, but it didn't really have like an album kind of feel. When you hear all the songs together, to me, it just didn't seem like it was all written in the same mind space. So See the Light, the record See the Light, we were all like super proud of it because it feels like a complete thought. It has a vibe. And that was sort of, I think, the challenge at the time was not only writing the songs and recording the songs, but giving it sort of a feeling, And I think that's when I kind of, started being a bit more of a producer and really getting on you about stuff and really like squeezing out every single lyric and really like digging in really far and
Really pain in the rear end.
yeah, sorry guys.
And it's interesting too, again, like as time has gone on, a lot of people say they really love See the Light, and I always wonder if that record came out when Hello Rockview came out, how it would be looked at today, because I really feel it's a classic Les and Jake album. I think there's a lot of great songs on it, and yeah, so we decided to play this one. I like this one a lot, and
we came back and recorded that at my studio. It was really cool to just record and be living at home during that time, and also like our lives changed a little bit. Like me and Vinny became dads around that time, and See the Light has. Thank you, good job, way to go. We felt like we had to have sort of a positive vibe and kind of like, have a little bit of a grown-up thing a little bit, with that record. And I think if you listen to it with those ears, you can tell that we're trying to be serious a little bit.
He wanted to cut his dreadlocks off. We wouldn't let him. He was trying to be grown up. We're like, no, can't lose your
Not
identity.
that grown up.
But yeah, we had a blast making this record, and this one's called American Idol.
Me?
We were the kids from the cul-de-sacs. I got out somehow without looking back. It's over. It's over. We were the ones who grew up too fast on the front porch steps when we still had friends. It's over. It's over. We were the ones who were laughing last with big ideals and failed attempts. It's over. It's over. Repeat it now, repeat it with me. It's in the way that we can't explain why we were the ones who got away. It's in the way these memories get fed, so we always keep them locked away. Lock them away. Who would scrape and save and wait around for some better days. It's over. It's over. We were the kids of the one by one. We said we would when we were young. It's over. Yeah, it's over. Repeat it now, repeat it with me. It's in the way that we can't explain why we were the ones who got away. It's in the way these memories get fed, so we always keep them locked away. It's in the way we slowly replace those feelings we left in yesterday. Ones who got
It's in the way we slowly replace those feelings we left in yesterday. It's in the way these memories will fade, so we always keep them locked away.
We were the kids from the cul-de-sacs that got out somehow without looking back. It's over.
Yeah. There's Vinny.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we that takes us through See the Light, and right now there's microphones on opposite sides out there, and if you'd like to, if you have any questions, you'd like to talk right now, and we'd love to answer some questions.
It's where we open up the floor.
Open up the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
like a
always,
town hall.
Somebody's got to want to know something about the band, right?
Uh-oh, we got a question from the back. What's next? What's
The next song?
What's
Oh.
That's it. We're never recording again.
Well, you know, the touring part of this monster is like takes up a lot of time and a lot of energy, you know, and we are like kind of working on stuff, on more music, of course. I don't really know. What do you think? Full record? How about a single? How about just one really good song?
About we re-record our old songs. No?
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea.
There's still the HD TV EP that needs to be done at some point.
Yeah.
You know,
and now you said
I
it out loud through a microphone, so now we have to do
to
it.
really answer
No, I wanna do it.
to really answer your question, I think that we're in another creative arc, another really exciting time for the band right now. We're getting to territories that we've never played before. You know, we recently went to Russia, did the Czech Republic recently, so we're branching out and we're getting more offers to play around the world. 25 years in as a band, it's crazy to us, you know. So
We just spent 3 days in Budapest.
I think it's
I
pronounced
never thought I'd
Pest.
ever say that.
yeah, and
We were in Buda, not Pest.
so.
That's
You know, we're getting more opportunities to play. If we wanted to be out there every day of the year, we could be, and that's really cool because you know a lot of people would give their eye teeth to be able to play in a band and have a career and make a living out of it. So it doesn't fall on deaf ears with us. We know how special we have it, and it's really really cool. So yeah, that's what's most exciting to me is there's just more opportunities coming, you know, and you know, for instance, like the general manager of the Atlanta Braves is a huge fan, you know, and I don't know, maybe someday we'll write a theme song for them or something. But these are all people that grew up listening to us that now have real corporate jobs and things, and so we're getting opportunities to do things as a band that we never would have as a younger band.
I don't think that we really ever grasped the idea that this was going to be a career band, 25 years ago. It's just kind of like one day at a time, one song at a time, one show at a time, and then here we are, and we've amassed this huge history, And our contemporaries, bands like Bad Religion is a huge sort of influence for us, wow, they can make it. They can play you can be in a punk band for 35 years, and I think that's kind of where we're at, as far as what's next is to continue and survive, and stay healthy.
Don't fall off the stage. That's what's next.
Yes, sir, in the red.
You guys talk to Fat Mike at all? You guys work with him recently?
Not on purpose, but
Yeah, we see him all the time.
Man, he's really supportive of our band. He's always been there. He's always said, "Hey, you guys want to do a record on Fat? Cool. You want to not do a record on Fat? Cool." Yeah. And I think
Cooler if you did.
I don't know if you guys ever met Eric Melvin before. This is Eric Melvin to my right here. Not that long ago, Eric.
The thing about Mike is, he's a lot of things, and he's all of those things, and he's the real deal. He's insane. He's insane, but
he definitely understands what we're about, and it's cool to have someone. Not only am I super influenced by, but he just he knows what's up in the scene, and he gets Less Than Jake, so it's awesome.
He is a funny guy.
I can't wait to see him. Yeah, we did this beautiful storytellers thing, and we're talking about you, Mike.
Yeah.
Great.
Don't worry, he's not watching. He's just getting up. Probably.
Hey, he's not going to see this.
just waking up.
Anybody want to ask Vinny anything? He's over there ready.
Yes.
He's ready to.
He's got the mic.
How
he's
did
ready
you
to
get
roll.
so
in the
handsome?
spotlight.
That's what I want.
Oh, we have these ladies over here.
Because you guys split the writing, music, and the lyrics, do you ever give him any ideas of this is kind of where I'm going with this music, or do you just pull it right out of?
Oh no, absolutely, yeah. I mean, song ideas have a feeling, they have a vibe, and it's like I'll say something like, "Well, this is like a serious song," or "This is a silly song. This is going to be like Mark Cruz kind of song," It just the music kind of it lends itself to some feeling, and after this long, we kind of have an understanding on what that is. But yeah, we definitely do that.
Sometimes Raj will also, or Chris, like Vinny will just have like scraps of paper that have like a bunch of ideas written on them too. It's not full songs yet, but they'll just be a title or like some lyric that is like something that fits with the song or whatever. So like Raj will be like, oh, that's the one right there. I'm taking that. And like they'll call it. They'll be like, I'm taking this one. You can't have it. Like for like Chris's song. Or whatever.
In an extension to that, have you ever come back with lyrics and they go, oh man, no, you got this all wrong?
Talk in that microphone. Talk in the microphone.
We know you're not
Gotta
used
let
to
the,
that.
the internet hear the
Crank them twice as loud as us.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, there it is.
So there's an editing process that goes now with where Less Than Jake's at. So if I have a set of lyrics and we're around the table over at the fort, right? And of course, there's times where Chris goes, you know what? It's almost here, or I don't understand what you're talking about, or why you're writing that. And you have to explain it through, and there's feelings and there's weird things. And like I said, there's, like Raj said actually, that sometimes there's personal stuff that goes on with me that has to get filtered through Chris and Raj because they sing it. So sometimes it gets a bit gnarly. So you have to kind of edit it out and edit it down and make everyone feel good that they're singing it. They have to feel it and believe it, you know.
We're painting a nice picture too. There's lots of arguments that happen during this stage.
It's also a lot. It's the melody is already there too. So, and if they're really stuck on exactly how the syllables are going or how something's phrased out, and it will totally change the melody if it's not the same with the lyrics. So they'll have to take the lyrics and like puzzle it out and take this word out or add a just-in or a so or
It's the best jigsaw puzzle.
We're
Yeah,
definitely,
it is.
definitely an odd band. It's a
not
a
typical.
five-headed democracy, and that's tough. It's like
Yeah.
too many cooks in the kitchen. It's great and it's tough at the same time. Lots of bands. There's one guy that writes the songs, one guy that makes the money, and one guy that like runs the ship, And
Here's
it's
the
just-
sheet music. Don't miss a
and,
note.
It's not really the way it's ever been with us.
The one thing that I want to say, though, is that I'm lucky enough to be able to have Chris and Raj be able to sing and verbalize the lyric and how I feel and capture the moment and capture the emotion. I can't do that. Like if I was going to try to do that, I'd fail utterly.
Let's give it a shot.
I consider.
We're gonna give him a mic tonight behind the kit.
While these guys are up there, I consider myself incredibly lucky that these four individuals can take what I do, even if it's 80% of what I present, and be able to form it into a song and capture the feeling and the emotion. So, thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Have you ever seen lyrics that Chris has written?
Getting verklempt up here.
Don't cry.
Choking me up. I want to, before we move on, we'll take a couple more questions. Yeah, I just want to say thanks before we forget, because we're just, I want to thank the Heartwood Soundstage for having us today.
That place is beautiful.
Thanks to Bob, Dave, everybody here for making this happen. If you're online, if you're here, if you're from Gainesville, please support this place.
They do live concert streams all the time.
And Bob asked us probably about a year ago when he's putting this thing together if we'd be interested in doing it, and we wanted to logistically make it work, and we figured Wake and Bake was the best time to do that. So thank you so much to Heartwood Soundstage. Thank you very much.
Great.
And you said questions? Who else had a? Yes.
You guys sound so amazing acoustic. Would you ever release an acoustic album?
Dun, dun, dun.
The question was, would we ever release an
here's
acoustic
the
album?
question. Would you want us to release an acoustic record of stuff that we already did, or just acoustic
songs.
based new songs? Maybe both.
Both.
All right.
Oh,
Well, that's what we'll
wow. Demanding.
So that's what we're doing next, to get back to the guy in the back. First question.
We make it up as we go along, folks.
we've thought about it for sure, and I just think that it was never the right time. We were too young or too punk, but now we would do it, and probably So
We're going to do an
we'll take
acoustic
your
Christmas
suggestion.
record.
Right over here, Chris.
Okay, 1 second. Yes.
How do you guys feel about being along longer than some of your fans have been alive?
How's it feel? How do you think it feels? I feel 15. I look in the mirror and go, what?
You've seen my knee brace.
Quick story. Roger last night wore a Teen Idol shirt on stage, and one of the kids that works over at the tattoo shop was standing there, and I go, how old are you? How old were you in 2003? And he said, 7. And I said, all right, well, this shirt is about 7 years younger than you. So.
Yeah, it's great. There's still younger people coming to see us, and a lot of it is because their parents are bringing them. They grew up listening to Less Than Jake, in the
Forcing
car with
them.
mom and dad, and now they're the show.
Yeah.
And how does it make you feel that your music influences
Well, that's your bad parents. That's not your. As her mom is sitting right next to her.
You know,
so.
I swear, when we get asked these questions, I really don't know how to answer them. But
Well, the fact that-
because how can you explain it? We get people that write us and tell us that, I didn't kill myself because of your music. Like, that's heavy, and we're not really serious. We're just crazy, So when we get hit with like that, and you have to be serious, it's like, I got goosebumps talking about it. That happens. How many people have tattoos of our band out there? I mean, that's
Amazing.
Every week they get sent into lessthanjake.com. People send in their tattoo, and that is beyond flattering. What do you say to somebody that gives you that, gives you that love? How do you give that back, and how do you say it with a straight face? It's unbelievable.
It's really meaningful to us too, because music is such a fickle thing. Like, I go through bands throughout my life all the time, and you get tired of it, and you get rid of it. And
he's currently into Taylor Swift.
I like Taylor Quick.
Yeah, make no mistake. We, the five of us, we realize that we live our dream every day. Like, when we're able to do this and get up and go around the world, and people sing back and transfer that energy back and forth to each other, this is an incredible thing. And the fact that you guys all keep coming back is, I never think anybody's going to be in front of us when we go out there.
We're doing something right.
Nobody here tonight, and then there's people just screaming, and it's
for
live our
instance,
dream.
They're screaming Green Day, and they're at the wrong place, but.
So one of our fans, Isabel's from Ireland, and she's been following us for probably over a decade now, and she handed us these little thumb drives last night, each guy in the band. I looked at it this morning.
I looked at it last night.
It's a 40-minute movie of fans around the world congratulating us on 25 years and what we mean to them. And they have all their memorabilia up. It's
crazy.
I've seen tons of faces in this room and people that I see all over the world, and that kind of stuff is flattering. Thank you very, very much. It was very, very awesome. I have to watch the rest. I made it to about 15 minutes, and I had to get ready to come here. But thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. That was very, very, very
It
sweet.
scared me how many people I knew in the video. Yeah. And since I did the mail order for so long, I knew some of their addresses.
Somebody's going to personally show up and thank you all. He'll be there.
If you see a drone outside your window.
Back there, that gentleman.
Good Burger. Good question.
The account.
Kel Mitchell.
Someone from Capitol. They were doing the soundtrack, and someone called, and it was funny because Kel Mitchell, the Good Burger kid, he sang with no guitar, just a rough vocal on our answer machine.
Yeah.
I live with Vinny.
That's how long it was. It was an actual answer machine tape.
And it was awful. He can't sing, right? So we went in and we went to Orlando, recorded the song, and Roger and I sang the whole thing. And then he went in, and being the actor that he is, he emulated my vocals. And when I heard the final thing, I was like, wow, he kind of did a good job on it.
Well, keep in mind what he wrote was just the chorus too. The answer machine just had, "I'm a dude, you're a dude, we're all dudes." Like, that's literally what it was. So all the melodies and stuff came out of these lovely gentlemen here.
But that song is crazy because we kind of shunned it. We were just like, it was a stupid, silly kids movie, and we didn't really think much about it until the 7-year-olds that were watching that movie, all of a sudden they became 17-year-olds. So late 2000s, we had a flood of fans coming, "I heard you on Good Burger, I love you guys," So who knew, like we made fans from that movie, So it's pretty neat.
Linkin Park tour. Never forget the first day Bert from The Used came up to me. He's like, "You guys playing Good Burger?" I'm like, "No, dude, we're not playing Good Burger." Like, come on.
We got 160 songs. You want us to play the Good Burger song? Jeez. Yes.
You mentioned conflict a couple times. I was just wondering, in 07 you guys did the album shows, and there was a rumor by some people in this room that this might be the last shows you guys do. So a bunch of us, we flew in. It's the only time I've heard of conflict in your band. I don't even know if that was true.
Yeah, we started that rumor, actually.
Yeah, we needed people to come to the shows.
It's been 25 years of conflict, man. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, being in a band's crazy,
Imagine being married to 4 people.
Yeah.
Not
That
only
you don't sleep with.
Yeah.
By choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
None of the perks.
and that you're
Sleep next to.
and you're forced to live in a space about a third of the size of this. So it's not conflict. Isn't the word? It's more like being with your brothers all the time, and they're taking your toys all the time.
Yeah, but
So-
but to really answer your question, no. During that time period, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary that there isn't typically. So, yeah. But we'll make conflict for the next thing we do, so maybe more people will show up.
That's right.
Bad news is good news. Yes.
Will there ever be another batch of album shows?
Another batch of album shows. Well,
We have
let's
to
see.
write more albums.
We
We've
really
made a
only
couple
have,
records.
We'd have,
2 records
we'd have
after that.
GNV, See the Light, and then no one would show up, huh? B is for B-sides. Yeah, we haven't done that record. I don't know. I think that when we were doing those, there was a certain charm to it, and then it seemed like
It's like a lot of bands started doing album shows after we did that, and now
Yeah.
I feel like the trick's been already pulled, sort of thing. I don't know. Who knows?
well, we won't say never,
Maybe-
but
maybe not.
maybe.
A firm maybe. That's what you get.
Yes.
First off, thank you, all of you, for the words and the songs that mean so much. But thank you for this, because I made so many amazing friends because of this. But the question is, I read the No Effects book recently. When is the Less Than Jake book?
Chris has been talking about writing a book since day one, so we'll see what happens.
You know, the No Effects book was really raw and insane, and I'm a autobiography, rock music collector. I have every book that's ever been written. I love it, and it's kind of we want to do one eventually. I think it's just how to present it, because we toe the line. We how personal do you get? It's hard to write a book. We have a ton of stories, but maybe someday.
Got to use words and stuff.
As soon as I learn
Yes,
how to
Rich.
read.
But along those lines, though, like something like I'm Tired or People's History Lesson Jake. I mean, I know there's some video that was released online during like who's that 12 string doing I think what we leave south. Like something that would.
Yeah, that was on the DVD package.
I actually have that. That's so long. Sorry, but anything like that.
Well, doing special stuff like that, it's just we have stuff in the archives. It's just it immediately winds up on YouTube. There's really no selling point. Not that we have to sell it to make money for it to be a thing, but we haven't really thought about a DVD or anything like that in a while.
Not as much.
No. We'll get in trouble if we
Exactly.
record some of
No.
this stuff.
Sometimes, but Buddy does most of our video stuff for the band, and he takes a lot of videos. So there is a lot of.
I used to until like everybody had a cell phone that could film video stuff. And then
Yeah, the advent of the cell phone has kind of destroyed all of that. Not in a bad way. It's just like, but you can go on Instagram right now and search Less Than Jake, and you can watch a good portion of the show last night. And that's because you guys are all, hey, look at me. But that's fine. I think it's cool.
They're all great videos, by the way, too.
It's all Buddy doing that on the video, actually.
Sound is impeccable too.
All right, we're gonna take one or two more. Anybody else have any more questions?
Going
Maybe.
once.
No, is that it? All right, we got one more. JT. Hi.
Florida or Michigan?
Florida or Michigan? Are they playing today? They are. When are they playing in Texas? I bet Dallas though, right? Okay.
That's an obvious question or answer for four of us, but
Is
maybe
Florida
not for
supposed to be
Chris.
good this year?
I'm betting on Jim Harbaugh's
year?
pants.
Oh, you betting on the
being-
winner?
I'm gonna say Florida. Let's go Gators.
Yeah.
Go Gators.
Even though I'm from Michigan, but I don't have any allegiance to Michigan anymore. So
Show us on the hand where you're from.
Yeah.
Let's in Michigan they do the hand thing. Come on.
yeah. Buddy, ladies and gentlemen. It's supposed to be the funny one, no? You guys, once again, thank you so much. That brings us to our last tune here. Again, thanks to the Heartwood Soundstage. Thanks to Matt, to Jimmy, to Brian, all you guys. And we're really looking forward to tonight's show. So we'll definitely see you there. And this came off the last Roger-produced record that we did at the Moat House called Sound the Alarm.
Love it.
And this one's called Bomb Drop.
Head full of chemicals until you've had enough. Dissonance make the accidents all become so much. You swung like a pendulum and now you're feeling numb. Turn from a warning shot into a smoking gun.
You can't keep waiting for the bomb to drop and hope everything just stops and falls in place while dark clouds roll away. You can't keep waiting for the bomb to drop and watch the ticking clock. The hourglass, the shadows pass away.
Time doesn't wait for you, time will never stop. Time doesn't need to know, it's not a countdown clock. You've been waiting for the end just like you always do. The target's on your back, the invades are black and blue. your mind. It's all for nothing.
You can't keep waiting for the bomb to drop and hope everything just stops and falls in place while dark clouds roll away. You can't keep waiting for the bomb to drop and watch the ticking clock, the hourglass, the shadows pass away. Whoa, 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 whoa. You can't keep waiting for the bomb to drop and watch the ticking clock, the hourglass, the shadows pass away.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very, very much. And we will see you tonight. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. It's been a blast. Thanks so much.
Appreciate you guys. We couldn't do it without you. See you tonight.
You still have time to take a shower, and somebody should definitely shower. I don't know which one of you it is, but.